Hello and welcome. I am live. I am live. This is This is the Power of God with your host, Shantae Washington. And I am always speaking to you about the topic called freedom. Well, it's not really the topic, it's really the breaking news about the freedom from the night tales of the supernatural. Stay tuned as we get off into this topic of how our children are using that "you're too old school" and why. What's the agenda behind it all? Is there an agenda? Let's get into the topic today. Again, this breaking news may hurt some because of pertaining to the words that I say, and being that human, stick on to the words that you say, and they feel like they're just only human. It will hurt several people on the topic of today. So stay tuned as we get off into this topic real quick. Hello, hello. I wanted to speak on a topic about how our children are always saying to us how "you too old school." Mom, get into the now. Why you still living in the past? And when I say in the past, I mean it's just a play out on words, correct? Because you're not living in the past when it comes to spare comes to not sparing the rod, because you don't want to spoil the child. Okay, it's nothing about uh you need to get into the now, you in the past. It's not like you're really in the past per se, but to them it's like it's like an agenda to get you as their friend. But most majority of us parents are not wanting to be our children's friends. And that's where the big problem comes from, between a mother and also with the government as well. They always say, "Mom, I've heard many children say to their mother, "Mom, you so easy to mess with. You know, you can take it better. You can take it better." Like when you ask your child the thing that you ask your child after they are consistently doing things that they know better on what they're doing. But with you, they're choosing not to do better. But with the father, they choose every step. They make the decision in every step they make to do better. And the answer that you get from them when you call them out, because calling them out is causing them, they get swifter. They get swift. Okay. They get swift after you call them out on the things that what you see. It becomes an argument between parent and child, right? It becomes like this big old battle, big argument when you call them out. But that's not to say that they're not consistently calling you out, okay? but they will not allow you to call them out. Okay. So it's like when you say, hey, I noticed that you don't do this with the other parent, but you're always doing this to me. And their thing is that they say when you do that, when you call them out and say, hey, you don't do that to the father, but you do that to the mother. Their response is, you can take it better you can take it better, mom, you can take it better. You got more, of the ability to take it better. This is what the children of their father does, okay? And who is their father? Their father is not Abraham. They are the children of their father, the devil. Okay? And this is not to talk about children. So for those humans who want to stand on my every word, go right ahead. But we're going to get into the supernatural of what's really going on, okay? And what's really going on is that it's a lot of children, even older children, who are adults now, between 0 to 100, or however long they live past 100 plus, okay, that are still stuck in their father, the devil. You understand? They still stuck in their father, the devil. Yes, they are. And it's 7 o'clock, and I'm here now. And I'll be here tomorrow, Thursday, because I said that I was going to be here Monday through Thursday, no matter what. And that's what I'm going to do. Be here Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. with some more breaking news. And it doesn't matter because I'm streaming on here and I'm streaming on YouTube. So, okay, I'm still going to do what I need to do to get this message out. I don't care if nobody listens today or tomorrow or ever. I'm going to get this news out there because this is some breaking good news for you. But yeah, they are of their father, the devil. You understand? Because if they knew God, they would know his son, correct? If the children of God, if they were children of God, they would have known his son, Jesus. And being that they didn't know that was the son, Jesus, the Father told them that they couldn't go where he was going. They had to stay down here right on this earth, because if they was their father Abraham, they would have known who he was. If they were the children of Abraham, they would have known who Jesus was. But being that they are not the children of Abraham, they were the children of their father, the devil. That's what he said. That's pretty much it. That's all. Okay. So we got the old the things of old, and we have the things of new. And the new things that's going on, they act as though the history was not set. So they want to put on this pretend falsified thing, as though this new thing ain't never happened before ever in life, just so that they can recreate history. History has already been made. The laws and the rules and regulations are in the Bible, although there are many people wanting to redo it over and over again as though they was there when it happened, and they still was not. It was already done. It's over with. Even for the scientists and everybody or whatever it may be that comes out and says, we just discovered a handy cliff on top of a banana uh a banana, and we never seen anything like this. And it was and as you we noted in Proverbs 20:22, how they never really explain how this happened. So now we found it and how it happened. Like, come on now. Everybody just want to redo history as though they were a part of it every single time. But come on, children of God, you already know that history has already been made. History has already been made. It's a shooting outside my house right at the time I'm doing this. Wow. Okay, so anyway, but as we know that so many people want to just participate in the history. They want to go back into history. Even the blacks talking about the racism, they want to rewrite history. They want to be a part of that because it was always something about the whole, the people of old always said, you know how when you want to defy your parents, okay? When you want to do the opposite of your parents and then turn around and become your parents all over again, it's almost like that. It's like the children, you want to defy your parents, and it says according to the Bible, it says how you are to honor your parents. But you got so many children that just they don't want to honor their parents because of the wrong father figure, the wrong one, the wrong wisdom. They adhere to the wrong wisdom. Everybody just got so much wisdom and never ever reading the Bible and what it is saying to you, to get the word in, to get the wisdom in, to get the understanding, and to receive the peace. And as I said before, to have peace is perfection. And if you are consistently saying that I'm not perfect, I heard so many people saying that. If you consistently saying you're not perfect, that means you placing yourself of the world because you're looking at the bodysuit. And according to the Bible, it says that the body suit is deaf, dumb, and blind. Why would you even equate yourself as equal to the bodysuit? Why? Why are you looking at that? And people still keep saying this. I'm not perfect. It's like they attached to that word. I'm not perfect. It's like nobody's home. Like, are you even listening to what you're saying when you say you're not perfect? Because you are placing yourself of the world and you're not to be of this world. You are to be in it. How can you say one thing that you're not? I'm not of this world and I'm not going to be that. I'm never going to be that. But then turn around and say, and look at your body parts and then have everybody else to dictate how you are to be in your body, because they looking at your body, and you say, I'm not perfect. So you basically just hanging Jesus on the cross again? Come on now. You hanging God's son on the cross again? Talking about you not perfect? Why? Why are you doing that? He died to flesh. He rose on the third day in spirit, because that is our original self. Our original self is spirit, making us to be of this world. It is that time when you are not to be of the world. We are not of the world. That's not what we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be of the world. We're supposed to be in it. So back to the topic at hand. So it's like our children, they know better. Okay. When you seeing them do certain things in front of you, but they turn around and they do something different in front of their daddy or whatever, that's telling you that they're living in disobedience on purpose. They doing this on purpose. It don't matter if they don't know. They still decided to do what they're doing on purpose. Although they know that they don't have to do it, they choosing to do it because it has been already done in history. Okay? They only looking at history. They're not going to the Bible. They're not reading the Bible daily so that they can get off the old man and onto the new man. They are looking at history. History is more um uh sightful, like it's more where you can see it. They want to see it in order to believe it. Okay, they want to see it in order to believe it. That's all the children of the world are. I don't care how old or young that child is. They can be a newborn baby, or they can be a older person. Okay, an elderly. They still got the child within that's supposed to be taken care of, and all they can do is look at this bodysuit. You gotta be kidding me. It's more to it than this bodysuit. That's just a bodysuit. You'll never change if you consistently look at this bodysuit. You will never change. So your children saying, you too old school, mom, get into the now. You really need to get off of that old stuff. This is the new. And then they going off of what they see their friends do to their moms and dads, and whatever it is that the dad could, possibly be doing to them. And the dad don't necessarily got to be saying things in front of them. The dad could be doing things in front of them to cause them as a child um to be disobedient to the mother, and so on and so forth. The mother who also was a disobedient child, let's say that, the mother who also was a disobedient child, who grew up still a disobedient child, and now has a child, she could also be doing things or saying things to the child to get that child to, to be against the fathers out here who are, actually doing what they need to do. And this stuff does happen. This stuff happens. And a lot of people take it word for word and get to using that against each other. Like, let's really get into the spirit so we can know the actual person. If you don't know that person, stop putting stuff on the child to make that child be against certain people. We need to work together, parents, to have these children to obey their mother and their father, okay? Not just the father, but the mother and the father. Not just the mother, but the mother and the father and the mother. It is supposed to be obedience to parents. It's supposed to be honor to both parents. Honor towards both parents, not just one. So when you got these children doing this, and the dad, being that the dad is supposed to be the leader of the household, and if you got these children coming at the mother in a certain way, that's not supposed to go on. I know that for years, I dealt with a particular person just operating a certain way in front of our son. Just operating a certain way in front of our son. And he just always talked to me a certain way, even to the point one day he was like, I don't even care what I say in front of our son. Even though I told him, can we talk about this somewhere? Can we talk about this in your room? I'll even go outside and see if he'll come outside, but he'll stay right there, right next to our son, just so our son can witness how much he was totally disrespecting me, dishonoring me. I mean, it was like camera action. Here we go. And he was staying right there by our son every single time that he would say something. And I'm looking at him like, do you not know what I know that what you're doing? You are embedding in my son anger against his mother because you have anger against yours. So you don't want to be you don't want to be alone in how angry you are against your mother. You want him to be angry against his mother too. You want him to hate his mother too, just as much as you hate yours. But it's a good front. It's a good front. And people keep on acting like you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. I don't care what you say. I'm going to use my stuff that I done been through as an example at all times. I'm sorry. I'm not finna hold nothing back because I have a testimony in my life and I'm still going through most of it. Yes, I am. I'm still going through most of it. And it ain't stopped because I know that a particular person is still got a motive. The Father already told me what the motives are in the different strategies that this particular person, he keeps trying. Yeah. Even with the bringing of new women into his life, uh it's just steps. It's just steps with it. It's steps. And the person trying their best to find that one woman that's gonna be ride or die with him, and then he gonna come try and step to me about our son. But I already know, and I'm ready for you. And you best believe you ain't gonna have an easy task when it's all said and done. Hunte. Okay? Okay. So anyway, and then the fact that, ooh, let me tell you, when they got their mother in cahoots with them, oh, they think they a winner because they got their mom on their side. But I got something for the mother too. Mm-mm. Nope. Nope. And when it's all said and done, my son still gonna love his mother. Still gonna love his mom. Watch what I'm talking about. You did all that, but yet my love is pure, and my son gonna love this pure love. Sure is, because it's pure. It's pure as gold. But overall, honoring the mother is a really big situation right now. Honoring the mother. And for anybody that's, really truly being a king, a King man, a kingsman, they have to go through this too of their children, disobeying them. They have to go through this as well as a mother does. A mother who is operating as a child of God, she has to go through what she has to go through. And then the man who is operating as a child of God, he has to go through the same thing with his children. But there are many people who arguing about the situation, and they ain't really, they're just crying. And they not really going through it. They just crying because they not really a part of their children's lives like that. But they crying for the glory of ego. It's like an ego glory, a pride glory. There's nothing really happening, you know. But yet these children are going through. These children are going through a lot of grown men touching them, and and also these so-called dads allowing other people in their family to put their hands on their children, touching them and doing all kind of stuff. Boy, I tell you, don't let me tell it all, because I will, honey. I'm not gonna leave nothing out. I'm not leaving nothing out. I'm gonna put everything in there that I know. Okay, even from people selling their own kids to be touched and messed with and all kind of stuff, knowing family being in cahoots with the but yet they try to make it seem like they love they grandchildren. Oh, I love your grandchildren. Oh, I love my son. Oh, I'm the dad. But yet you sitting there allowing things to happen to your children, even selling out your children for money, for weed and all different stuff, and then your family in cahoots with your whole situation. Like y'all hide stuff. You already know what's going on, but you hide stuff amongst yourselves. Come on now. Stuff is gonna be exposed in these years. People don't understand. You're gonna be exposed. You're coming exposed because you can't keep doing this the way of that way that history has put us into thinking that this is okay. I turned out all right. So it can happen to my child too, because I turned out all right. I had a person say that to me, and it didn't even make any sense coming from that person, because I really truly thought that this person had everything all under control, because they always used to tell me, and this is just an example of the disobedience, and why children are of their children, of their dad, their father, the devil. Okay? This is why. Because of history being passed down before them. And then people people living their life how they living it. You know what I'm saying? People living their life how they're living it, trying to get drugs, trying to get marijuana, selling their bodies for marijuana, drugs, and stiff stuff like that, just doing stuff to get what you want. Yeah, it's just so much unrighteous stuff going on out here that you wouldn't believe that these children of God are not children of God. They are, because if they were, they would know about God's son, Jesus. Other than that, they always trying to put his name to death every time they step out before another human being. So how can they play like they are children of God, like Peter and all of them who said before Jesus, how I would never deny you. I would never deny you. But then when they got in, they were, you know what I'm saying, they were walking as kings with God, but when as kings with Jesus, but when they tried to put Jesus to death by putting their words on Jesus, then where was Peter then? Peter denied it once he seen how they was putting Jesus to death. There was no Jesus no more. It was like he was invisible, okay? Because words put people to death, even if they are still on the face of this earth, as I stated in my other thing yesterday. And this is the breaking good news, okay? This is the breaking good news, because there are people who need to know that there are other children of God pretending and putting this before so many people, making it seem as though that they are children of God. In reality, they ready to rob you. Everything you got, all the love you got, all the passion you got, all the work that you put in to everything that you dreamed about. They ready to rob you. Everything you own, they finna take it. That's how ready they are. They kinsmen. What you think they gonna do? They didn't rob from this whole thing called history. They rob them from that and trying to make it be their own. They didn't write that. That's been happening a long time ago before they was even born, but they want to rewrite history as though they was a part of it by stirring up other races. What, you got a problem with black people? What, you got a problem with black people? How you gonna rewrite history by stirring up because you black, you want to stir up in the white person how you got a problem with black people? How in the world you acting like, why are you saying that to that person? You want to that's called rewriting history. It's several people out here that want to do that. And it's a scary situation when people want to rewrite history instead of leaving that stuff in the past. Now, that's the stuff that we should be leaving in the past, of the stuff that you done dealt with in your time, and then you want to put that on your children. If I knew that that was even possible at the time, boy, I would not have had children by the men that I had children by. If I knew that one day down the line that that same person that got mad and angry at me for not wanting a child at the time, I didn't want the child, their children. But then once I had the children, they wind up doing exactly what I knew that they was going to do. But yet you was mad because I didn't have the child. I didn't want to, because I knew the result of what you was going to do with or without that child. I mean, I knew how my history was going to be. The Father showed that to me of what you was living off of. The history of old. If I knew that later on down the line that I was going to endure the person degrading me in front of our children, in front of my child, in front of our child, if I knew that that person was going to degrade me in front of our child, disrespect me, and then expect me to respect them, if I knew that that was going to be so one-sided like that, I would have cut I would have cut ties with this person long time ago. And even with some of the discussions that we've actually had, some of the discussions we've actually had on in front of our children, our child, because we have one child together. But if I would have known that this person was going to do what they did in front of our child, like they did it, dog, I just would have rethought the situation, you know. But all this time, it was just an agenda, just some sort of agenda. It wasn't a steady agenda. It was like just an agenda to, I guess, to put, I mean, I guess I know, to put me into something that had nothing to do with me, nothing whatsoever, nothing to do with me. And all the things ooh, Lord, just so many things that has happened to these poor children due to history repeating itself. They want to be so strong on repeating history, but you don't understand. That's not the rod. That's the snake of Moses. That's the snake of Moses. That's not the rod. Why you wanna let out that type of that type of thing? Why you want to let out the snake for your children to be bit again? Because there's nothing behind history, just only your life being robbed of. You getting your life robbed of. That's it. You being robbed by the husband, by the man who was supposed to be your husband. You getting robbed by the man you thought he was supposed to be your husband. Ain't that something? The same man who was supposed to help you with the robber became the man who robbed you. History, huh? History repeating itself. I don't want to be like my dad. all of the things that was just too much. I don't want to be like my dad. What makes you think I want the arguments about how, and then you turn around and everything that was spoken of became true, and you gave it like you gave it. Okay. Most majority of the people, they say things because that's who they are. The stuff that they talk about, the things that they harp on, the communication that they call themselves giving, that's the stuff that they're going to give you. They're going to give you the same things that they then gave to somebody else because they still talking about it. History, you understand? It's all about history. That history is their treasures. And what's from that treasure? Nothing but the devil. God holds up treasure up in heaven. But when it comes to history, the treasures of that, it's just somebody just taking from you, putting everything you own into the treasure chest. That's it. They taking, they robbing, because ain't nothing in it. So anytime you hear a young woman or man tell they parents who, you know, they that are a part of the parenting thing, you like to honor your parents, that part. Anytime a child is approaching that specific parent, even if you're doing things for them, they still they're not gonna appreciate it at all. They say you can take it more better than their dad can, right? And it's to get back on the topic. But I'm gonna touch on it all, okay? I'm going to touch on it all. I'm not going to be afraid to say what I want to say. I'm going to touch on it all. They say you can take it more better than their dad can, right? Well, let me tell you what that is. That means you're the only one. When they say this to the mother, that you can take it better than dad can, what they really mean, what this really means, that means you're the only one who makes a commandment and then get mad at the commandment you just made to them. You're the only one. You're the one that gets emotional after you make a commandment. You feel so befriended by them, which you're not supposed to be friends to your children. You feel so befriended by them to the point where you made the commandment, and then the fact that you done made friends with them, they got you to being their friend. And I always have to tell my children, I'm not none of your friends. And I'm happy to have my children. I love my children. But if it had been a different way with different people, okay, or that one person, that different person, I would have done it all over again, but with the same kids, you know. But I can't take back that. That's history. That is history. I don't care nothing for history. I care about the new thing that's about to happen, or that's about to take place in life. Period. So being that your child is even telling you how you the only one that can take it, it's just letting you know that when you make a commandment, your friendship with them outweighs your commandment. They done already friended you, just like the devil friends us. The devil friends us, and they friend our kids every day in front of our face and make us think one way, but then it's another. And then you got other people telling you that you're not a good parent because of something. You know, it's almost like, come in, look at it, see what's really going on. It's just the children of the devil. Is they know that you as the mother, let's get back on the topic, they know you as the mother, you're easier to feed their know-it-all, out of orderness. Okay, you are the easier to feed their know-it-all, out of orderness. See, being old school is nothing wrong with that. But while you're being old school and making a commandment, you are not that child's friend. Because when you friend them, they get a chance to talk to you like other people talk to them. and how other people do them. And we don't know how other people doing them, but that's how they gonna do you, because you friending your child who you do not know. Just because that's your child does not mean you know that child. You just know the flesh on that child, but what's the spirits behind that child? You don't know, which is why it's good to start praying over our children. Pray over them day and night. Pray. People keep talking about this praying stuff is old. No, no, no. Pray over your children. Pray over them. Get in that word, read that word, because the enemy is out here tearing up families, taking away the way the order is supposed to be like. And the devil is using his children to do so much in our lives. This chair making all kind of noise. Jesus Christ. But it's just, and they are very unaware of, people doing them this way. They are very unaware of the people who are coming up against them this way. And when you ask them, is this how their friends outside the house treat them? They not gonna say yes. They're not gonna agree to it, and the reason why they're not gonna agree to it, because they in cahoots with their friend, because that's all they know. They being taught by their friend. These people friended them, so they think that this is how it's supposed to be. So when they come to you and say you're too old school, they want you to be in all of that they want you to be in all that rat race, that out of orderness. They want you to be in all of that. They don't want you to be in order. You too in order. They hate order. The devil hate order too. God is orderly, but the children of the disorderly, the devil, they hate order. So they don't want to be in order. They don't want to get their mind right. They don't want to get their heart lined up. They don't want it. That's not something they want. They being fed every day by whatever music that comes on, talking about different types of things, and whatever it is they watching and looking at and playing all day and so on and so forth. That's what they doing. That's spoiling the child, sparing the rod, because ain't no work being made from them. And who else is the work? The work being, who else is the work? Jesus. Ain't nothing coming from them pertaining to Jesus. It's only a dark shadow of their flesh. That thing that they worship all day in disobedience. And it's not to say that these kids don't love their parents. They love you. They love you. They love their parents. But really, even if a person love you nowadays, and this is not everybody, just the ones that are of they friends and family, who's also of the devil, okay? They love you, but they also hate you. And love and hate can't live in the same body, because hate gonna eventually outrule the love. And don't stand on that every word neither. Oh, well, you did say that hate outrule love, so I'm able to hate you. No, 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 no. If anybody say that to you, that person, they're not mentally there. They are not mentally there. It's a lot of stuff where if you just listen to people talk, you'll see you not there. You're not even present in your body. for you to speak the way that you're speaking. I knew that when my baby father, back in the day, I knew he wasn't present when he told me to send my child back to the same school where they was doing things that they wasn't supposed to do. When he told me to send my child back to that school, I knew he wasn't totally functioning correctly as a parent. But yet he wanna be in operation like he is, and he's still not. Because any man of God is not gonna sit there and dishonor a woman that had a child, had a child by you in such a way in front of your children. I know you're not there. You're not there. You're not present. The devil is, but you're not present. And then I also know that people come look at this live and want to hear what I got to say. Those are the people who know him. It could be him. It could be my family. Anything and everything could be said. Anything and everything. I ain't underestimating the devil and who is the children of the devil, none whatsoever. I'm not underestimating none of them because they do come peep me out in everything I'm saying. And I don't care because I'm going to say what I got to say. And if anything go forth where you want to say something like you so good all of a sudden, no, I'm going to say some things from beginning to end. And I ain't going to stop. Okay? Especially when it comes to my child. I'm not going to stop. So it's just like they sparing the rod and they spoiling the child, just like the obviously spoiling child. The people who are of their dad, the devil. Okay. Let's just say this: Moses was being in this same situation as well back in the day, and according to the Bible, when in fact all that was needed to be done was to make the commandment and don't get mad behind it. Don't get mad after you make the commandment because because they keep trying you. If they keep trying you, don't get mad behind making the commandment. And that's what happened to Moses. Back in the day, he got real emotional with them because like when he started to friend them, like he got closer to them because they was near him. Oh yeah, they got him and they got him emotional. And the father told him he couldn't even go to over there to the next place. He had to have Aaron to go over there and to be the leader of over those people, over his children, over God's children. It had to be another person to be over God's children because Moses was so emotional because he had went with those people and friended them, you know? So yes, mothers, you have to repeat it, letting them know they do not know you. And this is the generation of the know-it-all kids. That's what the father was saying to me. These kids know it all because we as children meddled. We were some meddling kids. Okay, we meddled in everything that we wasn't supposed to meddle in. Being that we was the children that meddled with everything, that made us produce the children who know it all. Okay, that's what happened. Now we have the children who know it all. And it's a lot of people that don't understand the consequences of their actions. And if they do know, they do see the consequences of their actions, they think that they will never get caught or never get caught up in anything because they feel like they know how to get over. That's what they feel. They feel like they know how to get over. At that time, they know the right words to say and the right things to do just to get up underneath the skin of that of that child of God. Okay? But our thing is to just stop friending our children, the know-it-all kids of this generation, and make that commandment and mean it. Then walk away if you don't want it. Example, if they being mouthy, with that mouthiness, their demeanor, their emotional way of thinking, because kids get emotional nowadays. They get very emotional. If you don't want it, make the commandment, and that's it. Make the commandment, and that's it. The reason why they know it all with you is because you're not making a commandment and meaning it by repeating yourself, especially if you're showing them love, which they don't get from the outside. You have to repeat it. But without emotions getting in the way, just like Moses had to do the same thing without emotions, and he wound up being overwhelmed with emotions, so he couldn't go no further. He had to stop right where he was and stay over in that land while they go into a different land. It just had to be taking place. So mothers out there, when a child is raising up against you to cause you to stir up, and when you stir up, you changing and you converting over to be their friends, catch yourself. Don't do it. You stay old school. Whatever they want to call it. It may not even be old school. It's just they want to find a word to attach to you for you to have an emotional response off of what they say. It's just called robbing you. It's robbing you of your chances to be what you was meant to be, the spiritual child of God. So don't be overthrown by the devil and his children. And the children are the children behind your children. It's the spirit behind your children that are causing these children to respond in such a way up against you. But if you get into prayer and start praying up against them enemies that gave birth, all them children behind them, I'm telling you, all of that will be going away. And these kids, these children that we have would be renewal of the mind. They will be in the position of the renewal of the mind. And the children of God, they'll be taking their place in the Lamb Book of Life, even as a child. Even as a child. Even if they get overtaken by friending themselves, because What it takes is for those children to be next to those people. The father said that when the people came, what was I trying to say? What was I trying to say? I was trying to say something, but then it just left because something else just popped up in my head. I've been on here an hour. I'm not trying to stay on here an hour. So anyway, back to what I said. When Moses got emotionally unstable at the end by becoming too friendly with the know-it-all children, they kept telling him what they know it all, everything they know it all, this, they know it all, that, in that type of position up against Moses, who was being led by the Spirit. That's when Moses was closer to them, and he started operating like them, and he couldn't even lead them no more. That was it. And the same thing with our kids, that our kids, they are in the know-it-all position because this is what they know they friends to want from them, and so therefore they trying to get an emotional response from you by calling you out. But in reality, your faith is what's supposed to be sustaining it all. Your faith has to sustain the know-it-all children of the world today. Your faith has to sustain it. I'm telling you, your faith have to sustain this know-it-all generation. It don't matter about how you act so old school or whatever. Stop allowing the next person to get an emotional arousement out of you to make you transform into what they want you to be. What you doing ain't old school. Because if we was really being old school, it'd be some kids that will go through some windows. Okay? So it's not old school at all. It's called not sparing the rod to spoil the child. Let's get back on that. Not with what our history made us do, whoop our children and all that. That's not the rod. That's where people misunderstanding. Whooping children was not the rod. The rod was make the commandment plain, and then walk away. Go back. They still doing the same thing because they need to be taught. Repeat it again. Obviously, they forgot. They don't know you. Don't get emotional about that. Yeah, you should know how I am. No. Not if they going out amongst thieves and robbers. Those people done snatched up some memory of what they know about you. So being that you love them, they not used to that love. They not used to that no more. We done sent them out to where the government told us to send them, which was to school, okay? Government had us send our children to school. They lost memory of everything about their mama. Now they gonna make history with you. It ain't gonna be too good, but you need to stand in faith and don't spare the rod, because you're gonna spoil the child, and that child gonna grow up blaming everything on you, because children only remember what you do. They do not remember what they did. If you ask them what they did, they're going to say, I didn't do nothing, but I didn't do nothing. And then some of them will tell you, but I was just a child. But I was just a child. Even if you didn't do nothing wrong, they still going to bust it out on you. And then you got therapists going 100% behind them, talking about that was just a child. She was just only this. He was only just that. No. They even in certain areas of life, they sit there and be like, that other parent is not correct. They're not correct in their mental, like something is going on with them in the mental, and something ain't right with them, but yet you got the whole people behind them 100% talking about, but they trying to be in their son's life. They try not if it's an attack out on the mother of the child's of that child. That's not even correctly done. Like, it's a lot of mental unstableness in this world for you to think that it's okay for that mother to be like in co-parenting with that father, and that father ain't even mentally present. So I'm just so if I put myself in that situation, as a mother, I'm supposed to be like just allowing a person who is mentally unstable and showed it when y'all was together, and still showing it now when they got other people coming saying different stuff, and them saying different stuff about certain situations, and coming at their own children. Like, come on now. We supposed to be taking up for our children, not sitting up there having people come at our children because of this and that, how you feeling. What are you even telling people about? See, that's why I don't understand why people tell people about their own kids. Why are you telling people about your children that know them and that they gonna have to be in contact with? Why are you even doing all that? And then got these same people coming up against your children talking about, so why you ain't did such and such and such? What you been doing? What's up? What? Look, I got done like this as a child myself, so I know how it goes. I know how it goes. Believe me, I know. I got done like this as a child, where my dad used to always do the same thing. This is history. History repeating itself. This stuff don't even get old. Like, can it be old already? That's old school. History is old school. That's really what's old school. But the sparing the rod, I'm not trying to spare the rod. I'm trying to give the rod, just like Moses was supposed to do. To these children, these know-it-all kids, they think they know it all. And in my time, the meddling kids, they was knowing it all too. They was meddling in the know-it-all. And so now you got these know-it-all children who know more than us. Okay? It's a history repeating itself. And the only thing they know is they got hurt. And so they think they know from that hurt. And in reality, they don't know nothing, just like we didn't know nothing. And still don't know nothing unless you go to God in prayer and in supplication and in meditation on the word of God and get that stuff in. That's what you need to know. And that's what you're gonna have to know. Go to God in spirit and in truth. I don't care what other people talking about, how you can't go, you can't, all this praying and stuff. No, it's past praying. No, it's not past praying. Pray. Pray. Because pray takes steps too. Prayer takes step too. Okay? It ain't just a sitting back. Prayer takes steps, which is what I just said. Commandment. Command that thing. Okay? Do not spare the rod. give the rod. It is not to do with whooping your children. It is not to do with yelling in your children's face. It's not to do with when they don't do what you tell them to do to get upset with them. Learn how to love again and again and again and again. Learn how to love. Because sinning and being in sin and giving it to our children is defeating the purpose of making anew. And then telling everybody else that you changed, and you haven't. You have not. You've changed into a monster, but you have not changed to God. Okay, it's two different types of changing. Is evil or good? So when you say you just changed and you still doing the same stuff in front of that person, and me being that person, and I'm seeing you still doing the same stuff that you did at the old house, at the new house, I'm telling you, it's nothing changed. You just changed into a monster, more of a monster. Okay, meaning that now I feel like you just really happy in doing what you're doing now. Like you good with it. You are okay with not being present. You don't got to be present. All you got to do is say something and then turn around and say, I was just lying. That's pretty much all I got from a particular person is they say one thing and then they turn around and say, oh, I was just lying about that. And talking to me like it's okay for them to talk to me like this. Like, who says stuff like that? If you supposed to be there, you're not there. You're not totally 100% there. It's something wrong with you. And I don't understand. But all I know is looking for that kinsman, and just because a kinsman attach itself to a woman, which this is what they try to do. Just because a kinsman attach themselves to a woman who's making them look good, that don't make them no king. That don't make them no king. They still the same person. If they trying to take the child from a good parent, such as myself, if they trying to take a child from a good parent, that's number one wrong. That person ain't right. They ain't 100% there. They not. They not. They not there. They are gone. But the thing to do nowadays is to keep the commandment you gave in love and keep it moving. Don't look at them in their faces. You should not be tempted of them in their faces. Don't put your hands on them. Don't punch them. Don't yell at them. Don't put the belt to them. Don't do that. Just make the commandment and keep it moving. Why get emotional about something you can't control? Ain't no use to getting emotional. Make the commandment, say what it is that you want, and keep it moving. Other than that, you just making an emotional drama out of everything. And you're doing exactly what they want you to do because you're falling in place with where they want you to be at. And that's it. That you falling right into the place of where they want. That's the scheme of where they want you to be at. So mothers out there today, it's no such word as you're too old school. You're not old school. You're new. You're new school. But the older you have gotten, you refuse to spare the rod and spoil the child. Okay? And so it's good to be in that form, not of spoiling the child. In order to not to spoil the child, in order to not to spare the rod, you have to make the commandment. Just like when the father told Moses to put out that rod. He told him to put it out, and it turned into a snake. He told him, Moses got scared all by himself. But when God said, put it out again, he put it out again. God made a commandment. And Moses did exactly as God's child. Moses did what God told him to do. He put it out again, but he got scared, but he still put it out again. You have to be willing to repeat yourself, parents. Get your mind right. Get in the Bible, read it, meditate on it, pray, and repeat yourself again. Make that commandment. Keep making the commandment, just like God did with Moses, his child. So being that you are a child and you have a child, make the commandment. And that child, they're gonna be afraid. And fearful might come as them talking to you a certain way. Fearful may come as them not showing you the love that you really know you deserve, because of the wrong father figures, whoever they feel was their father, whoever it is they looked at. Could be their father, it could be somebody else, like a kid, could be anything. Some happened to them, whatever happened to them, whatever it was. Make the commandment. Mothers, make the commandments and repeat yourself again. Don't leave them out there in that fear. We're not saying that you're going to be able to get on it all the time, because we got kids going to school and stuff. So it ain't too much you can really do. I know somebody who's really not understanding, but they really gonna have to get off of that high horse and understand that our kids are being programmed against us as parents in these school districts. And I'm just saying, that's some breaking good news for you. But anyway, I'll talk to you all tomorrow, Thursday, on a different subject. But mothers, don't let anybody stir you up in any words that they want to use against you. Okay? It's not your problem. Let them stir you up. Even if you feel it conjuring up, like, did you just disrespect me? You know, you don't got time for it. Even the grown older adults, they still, as children, they still disrespecting whoever is in front of their face. And I learned that. I learned that. So the thing is to make the commandment and make your commandment. Stop friending people. They not to be friended. They are to be in partnership with you, even if it is a friend, a family, or in a relationship with somebody. That's a partnership. And if that ain't the right partnership, you need to be leaving that. You need to leave that alone. It don't matter who it is. Leave it alone until it's right. Okay? You're not attached to anybody. Let it go. Don't matter if it's your children. It don't matter if your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your nieces, your nephews. None of that. If you really take the time out to listen to some of the stuff that your family say about you, you will want to know, hey, I can make my detachment from you as well. So just really when it boiled down to it, come on now. You can leave people alone if you truly wanted to. so you can get yourself together. But other than that, your children, make the commandment until they get older. Then when they get to going, you stay and you pray. Okay? You stay and you pray. Don't mean you got to deal with them. You can deal with them from afar, if at all, depending on how much disobedience that they have instilled inside of them. Just really depends on how they feel about you. It could have been just that you just took a lot of stuff from people and they feel like, hey, you're going to take it from me too. Who knows what's going on in a child's head that's living off the history that's long time ago. Who knows? But you don't got time to relive history. Let that go. Move forward. Move on. Until then, make the commandment, make it plain, and keep it moving. And if you got to repeat it again, go repeat it again. You are not your child's friend. You're not. That's simple as that. So, I'll talk with you all tomorrow at 7. Meet me back here tomorrow at 7. Always got 0 views, but hey, I don't care. I'm speaking some good breaking news over here. So stay tuned tomorrow for another topic. See you Thursday at 7 p.m. Have a good day and peace.